So it's an incredibly exciting, experimental and ambitious project that we set about, where it's a theatre project and disabled people in each country, they get to take part in the project, do some travelling, meet each other in person and meet each other through live streaming online. And that's the completely wildly ambitious part of the project.
The main goal of the project, bringing artists with disabilities together somewhere in Europe. And second goal was to make a co-production together. And there came the idea to make it partly online, partly together somewhere physically. The result would be a nice production, a lot of friends all over Europe, disabled persons who met each other and who would become friends, but who enjoying to play theater, so the nice production would be finally their present to the society. So the project evolved a bit bizarre. It was a strange way. The original plan could not be realized. And on the other hand, the reason why, namely COVID, was exactly the best present that we could have to be more and more on live stream events. Suddenly, everybody did it. What was, when we started the project, doing live stream rehearsals together, creating a live stream production together, was really 2 years ago an exception in the field, in the art field. And then COVID came, and since then, choirs, music groups, orchestras, they started to do things together, theaters. So it's no longer an exception. And because we are dealing with persons with disabilities, it was tougher for us, for our artists, to do the same things as those normal choirs or music groups, because disabled persons had to be protected a bit more than other people in this COVID time.
For the past 2 years, I've reconnected with David in Kids in Control and working and being on stage. And through that, I made friendships along the way. And as part of being in the EU project, I became an ambassador, and with that had a certain prestige, which I liked. It made me grow into my role as a co-creator in the project. I realized that I don't want to make mattresses for the rest of my life. I am now slowly overcoming my anxiety about meeting people and making friends and making my voice heard. The EU project is a chance for me to prepare for a career in the arts.
Lion.
Little Mermaid.
The Lion King, the Rabbit, the
There is the
Mermaid.
Lion King, there is a fish and Little Mermaid, and then so what is next?
Rode dok wolf. Zlatna ribica,
It's a goldfish.
Goldfish, yeah.
brod,
And the ship, the boat,
sunce,
the sun,
The zon, yeah.
onda duga,
rainbow here,
duga,
Aha.
I oblaci.
and the clouds,
Da.
but
Aha.
small clouds.
So it's raining.
Is it raining?
And
Jel
there's
kiša
a
pada?
rainbow.
Ne,
No, it's not raining.
No.
She said it's not raining.
sunce.
It's just sunny day.
Nice, cool, and they're in the sea.
Ježić. Evo,
Aha,
trava
and,
morska. Tako je. Morska
Groundhog
trava.
and the
Zelena
seaweed.
morska trava.
Seaweed.
Aha.
Svaki sat počinjemo zagrijavanjima koja uključuju i govor, i emocije, i maštu. Tako da pokušavamo u stvari ne samo se zagrijati, nego na neki način i razvijati sve te vještine koje su nam važne za nastup. Trebalo nam je malo u početku vremena da se svi oslobode, ali vidim da sad iz tjedan u tjedan sve što radimo im pomaže da i za taj finalni nastup će biti spremni čak i upotrijebiti svoj glas. Oko glasa je bilo nekako najviše problema da on dođe do izražaja, ali i glumačka ekspresija i mašta su isto neki od tih mišića koje vježbamo iz termina u termin. Ružica, malo si ne bilo lijepo kako smo radili. To smo imali prince, imali smo u moru, pa smo imali ovu, to je kvantumski bilo.
It was nice to see that some of our people had courage to go to do those exercises with people that don't have common language, and they were like, oh yeah, we're just doing it like this. Some of our folks learned to use more English. That was our language that we use, so yeah, English skills got better. Well, in Belgium we redid the old, how would you say, performance art piece, disability park, and that was our big show in Belgium, our big artistic thing.
Yes.
And it was quite good to do it there. Maybe we learned some new practices, some new rehearsals.
Expectations of the Yes We Are In Erasmus project was that I would make theatre work, I would share it with other practitioners, I would see their work, we would combine our work in some way, I would get to travel, and I would meet people in their home countries and meet the participants of the 4 other countries. Well, the main thing I've learned is how to work with digital media, because I have a very vivid memory of the meeting, which is, wow, almost 3 years ago in Wolverhampton, when the Media Raven people were making their presentation and we were making little exercises with Zoom, etc. And I turned to Chris Ledger and I said, Chris, I won't be doing this because this is not my thing. I don't do this. So for me to get to this point and to be able to work throughout a pandemic for almost 18 months, pretty much almost exclusively online, it's quite something. It's amazing to me and to pretty much everybody who knows me. Well, for me, the artistic power of the Yes We Are In project is just sharing working methods, getting to know other practitioners, seeing how they work and participating in that. It's been unfortunate that because of the pandemic, that's been very limited. But from what experience I did get, I realized that there were very different ways of working. I vividly remember the Finland workshop Jarmo gave in Belgium. And I also remember, not just for myself and the enjoyment that I had, but the Belfast ambassadors. I mean, they will still talk about that workshop. So that's very powerful. Well, for me, theatre is a universal language because I tend to work in a visual way with physicality. I mean, I would say that my work probably has more in common with dance than with written plays. I myself am much more inspired by dance and also by performance art, which is very visual. So for me, I already had this feeling about theatre as a universal language. But then there is the added dimension of online and live streaming. And that's where I realized that, yes, it's possible. But again, I would say that it would require patience and it would require practice and it would require time in order to make work that is harmonious, that is integrated when you're collaborating and using online, for example, Zoom. Well, I would say to groups who would wish to participate in a digital project, a European project that has a very strong digital emphasis, not to be frightened of the technology, as I was at the beginning, that it can be a friend, it can be a tool. You just have to be very focused on making the adjustments, the adaptations. So I would say to groups, with regard to live streaming, again, I could see from Zagreb when Dalia and Jonas were taking the live streaming workshops, I could see that, well, there were guidelines, there were essential guidelines, and once you followed those guidelines, it was possible to actually collaborate physically, if you like, online, and that successfully. So yes, I would say to groups, be very open to it, but don't feel frightened by it. It will be strange to begin with, but if you give yourself the time and you're patient with yourself and the people you're working with, you can make it work.
Probably learned more methods from Belfast team because we have kept in contact through the pandemic, and some of our ambassadors have joined in with their ambassadors to make a couple of films, which is good because it's artists from two different countries creating a performance in a different media. So we've kept that, and that they've taught me a lot. David's taught me a lot on how to do things with Zoom. The artistic method that we use quite a lot is we use lots of music and lots of physical theatre. So we've chose a piece of music and then we've put together pieces movements and then worked on them for a couple of weeks and then individually filmed them. So we use a lot of music, physical theatre. At the moment, at the beginning, we were moving people around. Yeah, a lot of music, physical theatre. The content of what we've been using, well, basically at the beginning, it was all to do with meeting each other. And then we did a lot of how people were coping with the pandemic. So we were looking at how sad people were that they didn't see people. And then we sort of like moved into, we've got Zoom. We're now meeting on Zoom. And then at the end, we've got how we've come out of it. You know, we're happy, we run online discos and stuff like that. That was the first content. Now it's like, we're actually doing some work on clowning.
Yeah.
She's come from the workshop when we came to Belgium and when we came to Zagreb. So we're working on clowning at the moment as well. Streaming will be used as an artistic tool in the future for us, as it means we can incorporate different people from different countries to be in our performance. So we can use the streaming to be part of the show.
By starting the project only 1 year before COVID came, our artists and our art groups had an advantage because they knew already how to use a camera. They learned the basic of it, and but in the COVID period, they were becoming more and more expert in it. And for them, and I think therefore live stream can be a really important tool for persons with disability. By becoming experts in it, by using their own laptop, their own smartphones more and more intensive, also to get in contact with other people, even when COVID tomorrow will be gone, let's hope soon enough, it will be an advantage during the next years for all those persons with disability. I can imagine just getting in contact with family members, with friends, not in an artistic way, but the use of this opens a lot also for persons with disability. And I think this project for our group, where we worked with, had advantages on that level too for the artists.
Yeah.